Hello. It's a bit dark because, as stream title states, it's a bit of a rainy day on my part, so yeah, gonna be a bit dark here. Let's close this. Make sure I open GIFBot while we're having a chat. Also, let me check for a second because it looks like stuff's getting hauled in here. So my presence might be required. I barely even got started, man. Never mind. I was not wanted. Well, I was not required. My presence was not required, rather. Words! Words are great. Alright, GIFBot's on. We are cool here. And let's see. Yes. I just wanted to see if you actually needed my help. That's why I came looking out there. Yes. Of course I give him lunch by now. Yeah, I'm here on this cozy, rainy Thursday with some tea. Specifically, it's like ginger tea because my stomach is mildly pissed. But it's my own fault. I had coffee on an empty stomach yesterday. Like a dumbass, so... Seeing if ginger tea can help out matters. Also, I almost forgot ginger tea existed. I put a bit of milk in there. So the ginger part wouldn't be too much on my part. But, yeah, so we're gonna be drawing today in my third sketchbook. Yeah, this is my third one here. Which I've gotten like, say, 8 pages I've drawn in here. Which I've basically poked around in some bits just to see how it takes certain mediums, so yeah. We're kind of going from there. Although I do want to put a little bit of paint on one spot in one of these, but actually I could do that offline, so... Yeah, I'm just gonna jump over here. I had to fiddle around with the drawing screen because I realized I didn't put this in frame properly. I realized, because I hadn't used it yet since I had set this up, so that's a thing. But yes, sketchbook here. This is 8 by... Was it 5 by 8.5? Yeah, I believe that's the size of these. I really do enjoy the smoothness of this marker paper. I am probably gonna be getting a second one of these when it's... If not soon, sometime soon-ish. I really do enjoy this paper. It's really nice and smooth. Which, unrelated, but you can actually see, like, the markers are different colors compared to the smaller book. I had the sketchbook I had, where it's like the colors were a bit more saturated, which this is why you kind of test your... This is kind of why you test your material on your specific paper that you have, because, you know, paper takes it differently depending on what kind of paper you have, your absorbency, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's a thing. Alright, so get some pens. Yeah, for right now, it's basically going to be a good chunk of me with some my good coal erase pencils for sketching, and then getting some detail with some pens on here. Which, let me just sharpen these guys a wee bit. I haven't sharpened them in a little bit. I try to, like, what's the word? I essentially try to swap between which pencils I use. Don't always do a good job of it, as you can see. It's like this one's really short in comparison to the rest of them. So I got in a 12 color set of these, and let's see. I think the shortest one might be, where is it? A purplish red color here. This one, the Tuscan Red, which I haven't actually used this in a little bit, so actually couldn't hurt. So Tuscan, yeah, for right now, I'm gonna sketch an idea I've had for a little bit on for like a sticker I can eventually draw. Although, arguably, does it have to be a tree? Trees are not always my strong suit. Which I'm not doing, like, you know, a great detailed thing on it, but I just want to roughly sketch out an idea on this. Yeah, this is the first time I've done a drawing stream since I've, like, changed around my setup here. Heck, this is my first drawing stream 2022 here. So it's nice to have a nice chill day I can just do that. Not that, you know, doing my yarn related arts is any less chill, but sometimes I like doing other things. Do I want some, like, leaves on here? Or should I leave that alone? I was thinking of basically having, like, say, if not a plant, a tree where it's, like, little skeins of yarn off of them. And then, kind of like a play on a fruit tree is essentially what I'm going for here. But, eh. Let me at least get a little bit of definition on these lines here. I cannot believe it's Thursday already. It's really weird. I've gotten to Thursday already, but I think it's because of not streaming, like, as frequently as I did last year. Although, arguably, it's only one less day a week, but I guess what a difference a day makes. Maybe have a flower in here to show that it's, like, blooming. Because I think oranges do that, where it's like, where the where it gets pollinated blooms from, and then like the petals fall off and all that. Although I'm not sure. Here were some generic flower petals. Also, what did I do with... Is it in here or did I put it somewhere? I probably put it somewhere. Wait. Oh, right there. That works. I thought I had my kneaded eraser in front of me. That was apparently a lie. But it was nearby enough, so... that works. Alright, let's see. Let's see. At least you guys can see it. That was my main concern. That it would not be visible. Alright, let's see. Then let's... Alright. Can I move in a wee bit? Maybe add some leaves on here. To further denote the play off of a fruit tree. Alright, so we got our basics going on here. And go in with, yeah, I'd say the purple. Be fine in this instance. Also, I minorly tilted the table, so there's a bit less glare coming off of the light off of the page here. So it looks like that seems help based on what I'm seeing here on OBS, so yay. Plus turning down the gain. minorly. So it's not going full blast on me. Alright. But yeah, I've been basically meaning to add another sticker design, but this likely won't be a thing that happens soon. Just because I'm gonna be a wee bit busy. I suspect for a good chunk of this month. Alright. Probably add more of these on here. Alright, let's... I wonder if I could change the angle. Oh, that might be stuck like this now. Unless... Hold on. Alright. Erase this so that stops being a little distracting. And then, let's see. And then, a little bit of shading and pen to make sure that's dark. And then okay. That's good enough for the moment. Let me pause for a second. Remember to drink this tea here. I forgot how ginger burns in the back of one's throat. Alright, cool. Just wanted to make sure I did not forget that. Honestly, once I start streaming, I tend to forget I have tea in front of my face, so usually try and make sure I finish it. Alright, let's see. Erase the pencil in some spots. Also, I think I am gonna mess around with what the camera's looking like right now. Craft cam, properties, fire video. Yeah, maybe up the gain a tiny bit. Zoom in on just a wee bit. And then move this down. And okay now. Yeah, it's better, like right about there. Alright. Cool. That is definitely better. Alright, so do I want to put... I can leave it as is without any color, but I do want to put at least a little splash of color here and there going on. We'll move on to the next thing. Do I want to... Yeah, I think I can manage with some marker here. Given these are alcohol markers, it's gonna bleed a little bit, but it's fine. I'm gonna try and make sure I don't layer too much because I don't want it coming through on the other side. Because given this is like marker paper, you know, it's like even just a little bit, it'll start going through on the other side of the paper, which is very much annoying. And this is the colorless blender, and basically just getting the... purposely making the ink bleed and causing that to happen, which I very much love that effect. It is really pretty. Alright, so there's that. Let's see. There's a spray here. Typically, if it's a tree, the flowers usually look the same, but yep, this is my thing. I have liberty to do as I please, so this gray, and then maybe layer it with some, not pink, maybe the red. Where's this? Even though it's called cherry pink, it's quite a red. I'm using the gray underneath to tone it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Alright. I keep wanting to use that side. It's fine. Go with this. A little bit of pink here. Okay, arguably all of these colors are in the same color family, so that works out. Because red, pink, and purple work out really well. So, let's see, I can add a shade of blue here. Although, these are pretty much almost all warm tones, so if I go with the blue, I have to go with this. Yeah. This pastel blue. Which I'm gonna get my color pencils, which are right there to shade. So, just wanted like a good, nice plop of color going on here to set the tone. Also, why is that still... There it is. Alright. Color pencils. Let's see. This green or... Which green is this? Kelly green. Although, could layer it with just a bit of this. This being mint green, so the lightest of the greens I have. And for anybody curious, these are like some pretty inexpensive color pencils, which these are Ardenfly, so no one's surprised. But these are not bad for their price point because I'd wanted oil-based color pencils that were not Prismacolor because Prismacolor is stupid expensive. Which, nothing wrong with them, I just don't have, you know, that cash to go around with that price point, so no. Alright, so let's see. Now we've gotten that, although we've gone through here. I could layer another thing of pen. It seems to be dry enough. Which doesn't show through. It's just the gray below it's making it definitely difficult to see the pen, which even if I did black, it probably would not show up terribly much. Alright. Let's see. Do I need to color the whole? Nah, but I could color those flower petals and probably call it a day. Which pink is this? Watermelon. It's actually a little bit saturated. I want a light pink. Oh, it's yellow. Melon, but melon has like a tinge of orange to it. It's like a flesh tone color. Let's see, melon and no, this is still canary. No, butterscotch. Is it light? Yeah, it might be lighting making me see this a little bit lighter than what it is. So, let's see. So, and things going on, I realize I haven't really discussed that, but Chainmail art is pretty much packaged up now. I just need to, well, I actually painted the card yesterday that I went in there for, which I just did a simple thing, given this pretty much matches the colors that were on the bracelet, which also I put on for the keychain. So basically rounds out the whole trans pride flag theme, so basically went with that. So it's well and thoroughly dry now, so I'm just gonna write on the other side what I want to put there, and then basically package those up, which I should schedule that to get picked up tomorrow, so that's good. I kind of hoped I'd be able to get it out earlier than that, but I knew I probably would not be able to. So it's fine, as long as it's out this week. Also, okay, I didn't see anything. Normally that pops up in chat. Things are not disabled, or at least they should not be. So, but I swear to God, and it's not there either. That's weird. But I swear I saw something say a follow right there, so... Huh. Okay. Alright. But yeah, once it's not saying the bot, I'm not even gonna bother to go look for it. And what's its face? Streamlabs, because it usually means it's not there. So that's really weird. I swore I saw something right there. Okay. I swear I've had somewhat enough sleep, so I know I'm not seeing things. Alright. Also, I realize this might actually look like cherry blossom leaves somewhat. There are worse things to simulate unintentionally. So, I guess we'll go with that. Sorry, trying to see. Actually, let me just tilt this up a little bit. Actually see a little bit better. Fuchsia. Alright. Even darker shade of pink. That works. So, remember what I was saying about my ideas on Tuesday? I'm kind of sort of, like, at least in the steps of enacting a little bit of that, although I think I'm probably going to wait until, like, the close to the middle of the year mark to even think about doing the commissions part. Although I do have it set up because you can have them in drafts. So there's that. What else? I have thoughts on second tier of the what's its face? Ko-fi memberships, which I made sure to change the initial tier to Stitches because I had been meaning to do that. Alright, let's see. And in addition to that, let's see, for that second tier, I was thinking maybe like doing little watercolor cards I could like send in the mail, so nothing too expensive. I figured. But yeah, I'm just brainstorming things, which with that I'd probably limit how many people could get in for the tier to avoid, you know, driving myself nuts. Because, you know, you kind of have to think of if every single slot is filled. You're gonna have to do all that stuff now. Although the, what is it, the Stitches tier is basically, like, say, previews of stuff, so behind the scenes stuff and things going on for that tier, and also, what is it, a thing in the Discord? Which I'm pretty sure it's set that up by now. Alright, where are we? What is this, red? No, it's still fuchsia. Alright. I swear I'm not blind. It looks red when I pick it up and I don't know why. I'm gonna go on top of the marker bits. A little bit of this. I really do enjoy that that's a thing you can do. You can go on top of marker with a bit of color pencil to add some variation to detail. Also, I realize I just jumped from my previous thing to topic, but pretty much ran out of what really to talk about, unless, like, you know, anybody has ideas of what they want for said Ko-fi tiers. I'd definitely be happy to brainstorm on the matter. Alright, it's really deep purple. And then come out here with this lighter purple. Also, remember how I said these were pretty cheap color pencils? Where is it? It's literally the first color of this whole entire 48 pencil set. And you can just see the not great quality of the wood holding the pencil together. What is this? No, that's true red. Where's the other red? I think that's this one. Yep. If you're looking for it, you can literally see how that little bit's like just taken out right there. Which, I knew these were like cheap. These are literally on the same price point as the Arteza ones, which I still have, but I haven't touched in a while. I probably should use, given that 72 color set. It's just that those are wax, which are very annoying to use. If I don't use them, I might actually just, you know, give them to somebody else. But I'm not decided on that, so we'll see. But yeah, bits like that, and sometimes when you sharpen, it gets real weird. These are not like, you know, the best pencils ever in existence or anything, but they certainly are at least a nice affordable brand of pencils. Alright, also, I want to zoom in a little bit more. Also, yeah, probably help a little bit to put my glasses back on. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just like, that looks weird. And it's like, I don't know, maybe you're straining your eyes because you took off your glasses. Like a genius. Alright, let's see. Is the white gonna land? Okay, it does show up. Because I hadn't really used the white color pencil on top of the marker yet. So I wasn't sure how it would do. But it definitely is visible, but I have to press a little bit to get it to do its thing. And I could do that, and or do you have a white gel pen in here? There it is. Whee! Hello, white gel pen. A white gel pen, I kind of have to layer a little bit to get it to be as opaque as I need it to be. But like, for a good bit, this does work a bit better on this paper compared to my previous sketchbook, which was, what paper was that again? Elo sketchbook, although that stuff was not acid free, although that's more for, like, say if, you know, you don't want your stuff to fall apart after a certain period of time, like basically degrade and like erode. Usually why most people tend to buy acid-free notebooks and sketchbooks. I'm gonna make that dry a little bit and then go over it again. It's a gel pen, so it kind of takes a second for that to dry. So let's cross-hatch a bit more here. To make sure that's actually dark, and then I think for now I'm gonna leave this alone. Because again, I was not looking to go for too much detail, but I like it well enough. Alright, so how long until, 10 minutes till first break. That happened quickly. I could come back to that and actually just color the tree, but for now, I'm just gonna go down here on this page and draw a thing I saw on Pinterest. That thing being, like a mermaid tail coming out of a washing machine, like those industrial washing machines that you see in, you know, laundromats. So, let's see. Arguably, this could be a page on its own, but at least try out and see how I do. Stuff like this in buildings I tend to not draw a lot of, so you definitely see I need to learn a bit on that down the line. I was honestly thinking of like having this be like in, say, a lake or a pond or an ocean. Which I feel like that might end up turning into like some environmental commentary that I'm not meaning to do. I feel like that's what it would turn into. Alright, and then it was literally the tail coming out of the whole thing. So go far back as I can. I've kind of had mermaids on the brain in part because I really want to make sure I do Mermaid completely this year, which I did not get to do much of last year. Just because I usually have so much fun doing Mermaid. Oh, don't do that. Which, no one is surprised I went with the purple pen to draw on this, although, again, this is not my most used pencil, although I think, yeah, you can see it's starting to rub off where I hold the thing. So, I do use it quite a bit. I think there's at least one pencil where it's like pretty much completely rubbed off what the color's supposed to be. I think it might be the vermilion. Yeah, vermilion. It's funny, because orange is usually not a color I like a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just usually is like, for me, eye-searingly bright. I'm usually just like, can we not? Although, arguably, yeah, because that felt like too strong of an up angle. Alright. Alright, and then... Alright. Are we? Yeah, we're out of frame. Yep, my bad. I was just getting myself all set up here. But yeah, I imagine an actual person could fit inside an industrial size washing machine, so arguably a mermaid could. Alright. And then... But yeah, I feel like with the context, this would either look creepy or whimsical. I don't know. Alright. Not sure if it like the way I did that. And then... Okay, I think that's a little bit better. I'm trying to get the flow a little bit more like, say, hair would. it doesn't look completely stiff. Alright, and then let's see. Nope. Maybe some Fisher net or something. I don't know. Not that I've ever really drawn Fisher's net, arguably. But it could go there. Oh, so if I randomly disappear out of frame, totally feel free to tell me to go get back in frame. Because given new setup and all, it's kind of weird for me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't have like the entirety of the screen. Although I basically shrunk down the camera thing just so it would fit in that frame, so I still do, it's just the context of which has been drastically altered. From what I'm used to. At least on this scene here. Alright, those. Alright. It's right up there. Arguably, I could just use like white paint or something. But again, things I do not wish to wait to dry, so I'm going with the pen. Although, arguably, I wish this was like a 5mm pen instead of an 8. Because you can get down to a little bit more tinier detail with, you know, a 5 compared to an 8. Alright, so it's probably pretty close to break, so I'm just gonna start going over this pencil with my nice bit of Bic pen, which if you want a sketch and pen, just getting some regular cheap Bic pens, or you know, those the pens they give at places like the bank, or what may have you, it's probably a really good idea. Because if the pen is just like a little too wet, for lack of a better term, but I know ink's wet, so what are you talking about? But typically, when it comes to pen, like say, not like a fountain pen unless you're like trying to go for a certain style. But yeah, arguably something that's like the ink's not as freely flowing. But it's not like you have to work really hard to get it to work either. It's kind of the pen you want to use when you're sketching. Alright. Map out where we are here. Also, it's also kind of nice to always sketch with some, at least, Gibby. I was about to say Ghirardelli, and I'm like, that is chocolate. Ghibli. Although I do like Ghirardelli chocolate. Ghirardelli chocolate is nice. I cannot remember the last time I've had Ghirardelli chocolate. Like it was, I'd say at least 3 years or so. That's one of those things I don't like go out of my way to buy, but if it ever like I come across it, I'm usually all for it. Oh, let me just go right up here, freehand that here. And a little crosshatch here. It should be about break time soon, so I'm just gonna get the little detail. Go from there. Let's see. Sorry, that's the camera off my head. I felt that. Alright, and then have that line stand out a little bit more. And then alright. Leave this as is for right now and come back and go in with some pencils. See how I feel. Alright, break time for me. If you're lurking watching me do the stuff, feel free to, if you want to play the Plinko game or the drop game that are both on my Be Right Back screen, which I'll be switching to right this second, or if you want to get up and stretch. Hi. Anybody who just came in during the break, hello, hi. Here doing some drawing because kind of felt like it. Today was nice. Well, is rather nice cozy day to do some drawing on stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see. At first I was fine with just having this be white, but I feel like I should color it in. I don't need to. I could just go over it like some brown marker or something. But yeah, don't need too much marker popping up over here because I don't want it to go over what I was doing on this side because I was mostly just drawing hourglasses yesterday. It's unrelated to hourglasses. Don't know why. I think I might make that into next card I have here, which I could always just sketch that out once I'm done with this. Although arguably I could always do that too. Let's see. Pen is definitely dried, so it's not gonna smudge, which should be fine. Because sometimes pen, if you don't wait for it to dry, it will smudge when you try to erase it, which is not fun. Oh, hold on. Let me go do that. I forgot. I meant to do that during the break. Be right back. I realized I did not put this thing downstairs. Whoops. And back. Sorry about that. Had to go put stuff downstairs in the freezer. I forgot I meant to do that during the break, and then I was like, oh yeah, that thing. Whoops. But yeah, thankfully not a ton of stuff, so that didn't take me terribly long. Wait, yeah. Before I even get into that, let me... Got some shading. In here. So that's one of those things I kind of tend to forget to do, like when I'm cross-hatching, remember that it's like it doesn't have to be fully straight lines all the time. You do have it be a little bit more curved if you want to like denote the shade of something. It's a thing. Let's see. And then, yeah, since this is those, it's usually rope, so it's gotta be at least some sense of... Jane, hi! Yeah, I had an idea for a sticker. So I just sketched that out to get it out of my brain, so I'd have, like, at least some note of reference. But how goes? How goes... The insane ice storms down there. Hope everything is fine. Let's see, where are we? Let's erase you. Also, this thing is on a slight tilt, so I put it there purposely so it wouldn't have any glare. Still have powder. Yay! Well, yeah, you wouldn't be here, I imagine, if you didn't have power. I'm willing to guess. But I'm imagining you are having a nice time not being at school. And having to deal with all the people. Alright. And then go here. But yeah, basically I've just been like drawing on this page. Because this is the first time I've done a drawing stream this year so far, and or have done any sort of not crafting since I think the charity streams back in December. So it's been a little bit since I've done not yarn related stuff on stream. Yeah, this is the third one. Which, my only thing is that you'll notice that, even though it's marker paper, marker is gonna bleed, like, regardless, but it's, like, very annoying to have it go through on the previous page, so unless, like, I paint on the other side, which, I saw paintings, like, say, if I'm gonna do the gouache or the acrylic paint, that doesn't bleed through, based on what I've seen, so it's certainly good to know. Alright. But yeah, this is smooth ass paper. I love it. Alright, where are we? I was gonna use the color pencils. Where are they? I could use these. Where's the blue? I have 2 blues in here. No. Okay, there's light blue. Where's the regular blue? There's light blue and then there's just blue, which essentially just acts as dark blue. Which also is a thing for green, but not any of the other colors in the set I got, which is weird, yet interesting. There we go. Yellow, which, there's a yellow in the set I almost never use, because unless I'm, like, gonna use this on black paper, it's useless to me in the being able to see it department. There it is. There's my blue. Yay! Alright. Cool. I have so many pencils in there. Alright, so lovely needed eraser. I have 4 of those, including that one. That's still the first one. I've had that for, like, say, arguably over a year now. And then trying to get a little, maybe, holographic / iridescent look. Maybe. If I do it correctly. But yeah, since you're home, what are you up to? Doing any sort of crafting and stuff? Well, obviously taking mine to note the current power situation. Alright. Let's see, do I want that or do I want... go with a green or really light blue. This baby blue. No. Baby blue's lighter than that. Nope. Sapphire. There it is. Ta-da! Alright. And then... it's always nice to be able to use... oh, wow. You can't even see that. I'm just talking about it, but you can't really see it because I realize... oop! Don't do that. Where frame is very much different from where it used to be. Because given the whole, hey, I made changes to the scenes here, means I need to keep reminding myself that I kind of need to move the camera at times. Or else things are going to be weird. This be talking and no one's going to know what the hell I'm talking about. Which is very much not helpful. Also, can you tell that there's blue on here? It's a light blue, but it should still be discernible, but given, you know, blue and this camera, it's certainly licensed to be prone to questionability. If that's even a word. Also, I have to tell you a funny story that happened the other day. I think not even the other day, it was Tuesday. It was before I even got on stream. Boyfriend was telling me, like, was mentioning, I was like, hey, because I told him I finished the bracelet, the chainmail one that I had made, which it's currently mostly packaged up in its thing. Mostly set to get sent off. And then he was like, how much you charge? And I'm like, including me having to buy more rings because I was out of one of the colors for it. I was like, 55. And then he was like, that doesn't sound reasonable to me, and are you undercharging? And I'm just like, because it's kind of like, hey, if I charged how much it actually was worth, because it usually takes me about, depending on how long of those dragon scalp bracelets, like, are you around the ballpark of like 40 hours? Especially given I don't do them often. Like, this is maybe the 4th time I've done one of those. So it's nothing too intense or complicated, but yeah. It just takes a little while, especially given that one was 9 inches long. 9 1/4, actually. So, yeah, that. I was just mildly amused because it was just like, kind of had to explain to him, it's like, dear. Trust me. Given this is the trend of, hey, I can get this cheaper X, Y, and Z place. Although the person I've made this bracelet for is someone we both know, so I figured they wouldn't, but it's just like that's kind of what I'm used to charging. Plus, that's like pretty much what most people sell. Especially given the whole chainmail is a hobby rather than, say, you know, a trade. I kind of just want to avoid stepping on the toes of people who definitely do that a lot easier than I do. It's like, that's the kind of things I have to think about. But yeah, that's what I was telling him, and then he was like, I didn't, yeah, if you have the month, it's fine. I haven't done it either, so there's still very much time for that. Also, did I? Oh yeah, I think this... There we go. Because I was looking at that, I was like, why does that look weird? Although, I think I want to adjust for colors again. I can't tell if it's me or what. Because I know my sharpness is good, but... It looks weird to me. But I know it's not going to look exactly like how it looks in front of me. It's just, it should be slightly better than that. So, let me turn up the gain mildly. And then, white balance. Because I know it's definitely more in the yellow. So that might be why I'm like mildly annoyed by this. Saturation and sharpness are like 3/4 of the way up, if not more than that. So I don't want to mess with that too much. And then maybe zoom in a tiny bit more, and then fidget around with the focus just a little bit. There it is. Ta-da! Alright, that's mildly better. Definitely looks more like how it looks in front of me. But yeah, he was basically like nudged me over to be like, hey, tell her how long it took. Which, he'd already done that, and it was just like, what's the point of nudging me over there if you already did that? And then she basically tipped me 20 on top of what she paid me, so. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks. It's always a weird thing to, you know, up one's prices. Because I always feel bad, because it's always just like, because you're always wondering what's the point at which someone will be like, I don't know. This doesn't seem legit to me. But yeah, that was literally all before stream. It was just like, okay, cool. But yeah, I should be able to get that out tomorrow, because I pretty much have that all sorted out, essentially. Which the boyfriend in question is getting birthdays, not birthday socks. I was about to say birthday stickers. Because I was thinking about this at the same time. But yeah, boyfriend's gonna get birthday socks again, which I'm thinking about using some of the hand spun that I have not used yet, so that's gonna be a thing. Alright, so if that's alright. I can go in a deeper blue somewhere in here, because this has a lot of greens and blues. Because I've noticed that with like coloring sets, they like to have like a good 7 shades of blue and green. It's like really weird. At the same time, I guess it's because you can mix like a good chunk. I hope he doesn't. I've knit socks for him already. You know those purple socks that I knit out of that pansy yarn from Knit Picks? Like the multi-purple, basically. But yeah, it wasn't that bad from what I remember. I think it was like maybe 10.5. Yeah, no, he's been here before, like a couple of times. I think you were here while he was here one time. I don't think he's talking much. Sometimes he likes to lurk. Also, sometimes he usually sleeps late, so. And or is busy, so it happens. But yeah, he'll pop up on occasion. What was I looking for? Blue? I was looking for a darker shade of blue. No, that's gray. What is this? Saf. Okay, this should not. Cause yeah, the charity streams last year, he did pop in. Which, it's so weird. It is so weird to say last year when it comes to the cherry stream, even though it was just a little over a month ago. It was near the end of this midway of December, so it's like mid-December, mid-January. I don't think I know a Twitch fair. He actually just got out of undergrad. What was it? Definitely, yeah, it was last year. Got out of undergrad, like he's completed it. Not sure if he's going back. We haven't really discussed that. Not sure. And on the work part, it sometimes does a little bit of babysitting here and there. But it's definitely, you know, on the hunt for a job and so on and so forth. But yeah, Twitch name Nolan J. So NOLAN _ and then J as in JAY, not J just the letter. Alright, I'll try to avoid pointing him out too much, because he'll probably be like, but why? It's adorable. And I love to tease him for it. Alright, what did I want? Let's see. Do I have a good color for rope? Is there like a top color? It would probably have to be like a really light brown for that to work. That's sepia is... Okay, yeah, sepia's the lightest. Alright, so at least based on what I see on the thing. I have a swatch, but I think my color pencil swatches are over there somewhere and I don't feel like getting up, so you will not be doing that. Plus, I'm lazy. Let's see. I was about to say, that better not cut off. I'm not doing anything. And no, my laptop is plugged in, so there's no reason for that to want to cut off. Unless it suddenly loses its mind. Oh, also, have you seen the additional stuff I put in the channel points? I think you've been here, yeah, lately, so you've probably seen at least, like, the weather stuff, and also I put a thing, like, in case some people, like, kind of just want to get rid of some of their channel points, feel like they have too much. There's a frog command, so it's like, frog some of your channel points. Alright, so we have that, and then, let's see. What are we doing? Do I wanna... I probably should have left some space. Yeah, it just occurred to me the other day. I was like, I probably should give people, you know, an option to be like, hey, let's yeet some of these channel points. Because that's a thing. Because goodness no, in some channels I have like a stupid ton of points that I need to get rid of. So I definitely understand that. Alright, let's see. Let me just cross-hatch this top a little bit. pressing a lot too hard. Come on. And also, anybody new, that is a little blurb about my schedule, which my schedule is currently 3 times a week, so Tuesdays, today being Thursday, and Saturdays from about 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Which, you know, stuff can change, but that's like pretty much my standard at the moment. Also, that's the lid for my color pencil thing. Where'd it go? There it is. Apparently dropped that on the ground. Whoops. Let's put a lid on you. So I can avoid dumping all my color pencils to the ground because I don't need that in my life. Also, do I have one of my water brushes? Yeah. Because you could make the pen bleed in this way without having to use, like, the colorless blender alcohol marker. Although the effect is, like, a little bit dulled given the whole, hey, it's water, not alcohol breaking up the color. But still has a nice effect to it. Alright, so yeah. The water, you can't really see it. Actually, yeah, you can a little bit. But not as bad as, say, if I were gonna use alcohol marker. Let's see. I think I want to leave that alone. Okay, I have a little space here, so let's see. I can continue my little tree theme here with some mushrooms going on. I did that on the previous page, and I like to do it again at least a little bit better. Is that even... okay, that's somewhat visible. I think it was like the second time ever I've really like drawn mushrooms. And also, excuse me. I knew that was gonna happen. I just felt it coming. I was like, nope, we will not be able to mute the mic. So cool. And then get a little snail friend. Make this one more domed-like. And then... let's see. Do I need... yeah, I think I want some lines. Yeah, black because this is green. I mean, yes, I could erase the pencil, but usually saves me time if I don't do too much in the way of erasing. Which, on this sketchbook, I thought I was gonna mind having the rings on here, but so far it's not been that bad. Basically, as long as I either can go landscape like this or, keep it to where I'm not pressing my wrists or say my hand on here, it's fine. So, I actually do not mind having the rings on here as much as I initially expected that to be quite the issue. Although hilariously, I drew in here upside down unintentionally the other day. I'd done one of my sketches and then I put the sketchbook the right way and then I realized, this is the wrong side, so it's coming up top here and then basically it'd be this being drawn as right side up and then coming back around and it's oh, cool. Which you would have thought I'd noticed. But apparently I did not. Maybe. Because mushrooms tend to cluster around in groups based on what I've seen in photos. Alright, whoops. Let's get some lines underneath here. Because typically mushrooms have at least some lines under their caps, and then alright, so snail friend. Snail friend needs to also get its I say snail even though you're not going to be able to see its shell, which is fine. Which I don't think I've drawn a snail in this sketchbook yet. Yeah, no, I have not. Okay. And then, now that we've got that settled, whoop. Are there any really orange? I love them. Like, are there really any orange mushrooms that I just go down with the orange anyway? Cool. But I probably can do a little bit of a color shift from the orange to, if not a yellow, maybe a red. Alright, and then we have those. I have literally 2 shades of red, so I should be able to pick one. No, I picked up one orange. At least it was in the same group. Paprika. It's like a reddish orange. I think that'll do. Do, 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 do. So, Jane, if you're still here, in regards to the ice storm, hopefully it is nothing like what happened last year with the power, basically everything going to shit. In regards to the electric companies down there. Which I still do not get how they managed to privatize electricity down there. Like, really? Like, that does not seem cool. At all. Alright. And then, yeah, another layer of an actual red. I literally have 2 choices for red. Is it this? Yep, 2 red. Yeah. That works. Alright, and then come through with this color here. Nice mid-tone. Mechanical Pencils, hello. How are you doing? How goes your Thursday? Hope all is well. Just here doing some art in my sketchbook also. How much time are we? Alright. Checking to see how long I have till next break, which is actually very soon, but I'll just add a bit more color to the page. It's fine. Let's see, what is this? Cinnamon? Yeah, it's an orange, but actually I can keep that maybe. Add some warmth to the tree trunk we've got here. Pecan, really deep brown. What other brown? No, it's gold. I don't need gold. Rounds. Tawny. Actually, that might work. Where's sharpener? Got up. No! Forgot to move my car this morning. First one in 5 years living here. Okay. But still that blows. Hopefully it's not costing you a fortune. Alright, so that's fine. Yeah, this is the one that needs to sharpen. But it's cool. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Let's go down with, yeah, a layer of this. Probably not going to be visible on the camera immediately. Okay, now it's a bit more visible. I am pressing a little bit harder, so that would certainly help matters. But yeah, I've been not playing the art today until yesterday, and I was just thinking, maybe I could possibly do some, like, draw this in your styles, maybe in, like, traditional form. Not start my own, but participate in a few. For the heck of it. Oh, yeah, that's... yeah. Why? Why are we like this? Alright, and then... now that we've got that layered, come through with this brown. Oh yes, other than that, I'm glad they're doing good. I'm just drawing some random stuff. This up top here is like a sticker idea I had of basically, you know, a yarn tree. Don't know why. That's kind of what my brain... sorry. Okay, no worries. It's fine. I figured you'd wandered off to go do stuff, so you are perfectly fine. In the other room. Ah, okay. No problems. I'm about to go on break soon enough as is anyway, so... eh. Just adding a bit of color on here. And then... did it? Okay. Let's see. A bit more of this orange here. But I kind of want to have a little bit of warmth in here. Although, arguably, if it's a tree trunk, it's not going to have that much in the way of warmth. Like a rotting tree trunk. It's not going to have that much in warmth, so... arguably, that's not correct, but I don't mind. Alright, so... let's... allow the both to doing that. Why? Until those come out of the pencil, I'm not sharpening. I refuse. You will not thwart me, pencils. Let's see. And then But yeah, this is definitely the deepest brown I have, so this is gonna be a nice lovely shadow color here. But yeah, I was basically saying just before, maybe I could possibly do some Draw This in Your styles, but you know, do them traditionally, because the few Draw This in Your styles I've participated in digitally, so I'm wondering if I should do that for fun. Because there's like at least one or two that I know of that are like, there's no deadline, so I could, you know, incorporate those in my sketchbook for fun. Yeah, being stubborn, not sharpening the pencils. Yep, it came out. Damn it. Why? You could have just cooperated with me for like 2 more minutes, couldn't you? And damn it. LA Sharpen It broke again. The hell? What is your damage? Like, really, what is your damage right now? You should not be breaking this much. Like, this is weird. Alright, and we're just over 2 hours, so this is probably good a time as any for me to do the break thing, so yeah. Should empty this pencil sharpener anyway. So I'll be back in about my usual 10 minutes and then come back and mess around some more. Yeah, I could possibly start another page, but in the hour time frame, probably not. But yeah, I'll be back. Yep, I have to check on something anyway, but that should not be something that takes me too long. Also, that was the wrong... There we are. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the break. Managed to sharpen the pencils and they not break, so that works. So I'm just gonna layer a little bit more color on here. And some spots. Which, in spite of all my gripes, I really do like how these things layer. Also, really need to make sure the mouse is not there in frame. I am bad at that sometimes. Which, instead of starting a second page on this thing, I think I am probably gonna start doing another one of those little cards I tend to put in like orders and stuff, like start sketching on one of those on here. For the rest of today. Mainly it's because I don't want to do like too many pages, because this is 50 sheets, so 100 pages, so this is one of those things that's probably going to fill up quickly, so I really might get a second one of these off of Amazon whenever I get the chance, but probably an 8x8 rather than 8x5. Also, need to move this mouse out of the way. Which, not that I mind an 8x5, but definitely if I'm like whenever I'm posting pictures on Instagram or whatever I may have you. It's slightly more convenient to have 8x8 rather than an 8x5. And the orange a little bit on top. Okay. I think that's good enough. Snail can stay uncolored. I think that's good enough for right there. But I think I just might do one of these on here. Yeah, that would work. Alright, so pencils back in here. Alright, and then let's get this over to the side here. Ooh. Which I feel like the front and back of these are probably like really thick cardboard or something. But it seems to hold up well. Which arguably if I want to, I literally did this the other day. Just tape the thing down if I'm gonna add some water to it. Which actually, I have my tape here. A very, very cheap washi tape. Which I probably won't buy this specific tape again. Although this is fine with like in the sketchbook because the sketchbook itself is going to keep it flat. However, stuff like this, it kind of curls up, so I feel like this is probably not the best quality washi tape. But I still have a bit more of this stuff, so I'm gonna use it whenever I can. Alright, and then come on. Alright, so let's tape this down. Then, do I want it in blue? Green? Yeah, dark green. Dark green should be fine. Although, actually, I could use brown. Brown's probably better, because if it bleeds through, brown would look the most like everything there. So, let's see. Alright, so let's get some. Yeah, leave some area from lines. Alright. I don't know what it is about doing the lines on a tree trunk. It's one of those things I really do enjoy drawing though, because it gives it a nice bit of texture in there. And one arguably wouldn't have otherwise. Be just a me thing. Who knows? Alright, so yeah. And then let's see if we can get might need to move that up a little bit higher. A little bit. Alright, and then, let's see. I probably should have changed the stream title, but oh well. It's fine. I'm still drawing. I'm just not drawing in my sketchbook. Although, arguably, this thing is painted on my sketchbook, so not fully inaccurate. Alright, and then I am taking this a wee bit slow. I don't want to have to get started on too much in the way of painting on this for right now. Plus, it doesn't hurt to go slowly anyway. What the hell? Is that it? Oh, it's PayPal. I was wondering what the hell that was. Because it says set up direct deposit, and I'm just like, is this a scam text? Because those have been a thing. But no, just Bing being annoying. Okay. Not Bing, PayPal being annoying. It's fine. Come on. Okay, wire? Whatever. I will deal with that later. It's fine. Alright, and then... Alright, and then if I've got that set up, make sure I leave some lines. But yeah, you can see it coming up already. That's how you can kind of tell it's not great. Washi tape, it should not be coming up like this. Once it's down, it's supposed to stay down, and this doesn't. Which is mildly annoying. Alright, so I'm gonna grab one of these oil-based color pencils, specifically the brown one I was using before. Where is it? Nope, that's blue. What is this, mulberry? Where's the brown one? I put it back in here, I know that. I just don't recall in what area of this thing I put it back in. Oh, there's cedar. Cedar's browner than that one, actually. 67. Yeah, it's brown to the point that it's almost black. Which I can deal with. Which I'm just using this to function as line art in some spaces here. Instead of me having to erase. Do 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 do. Which, yeah, you probably weren't here for that part, but I was mentioning that I was thinking for the Ko-fi memberships, because Ko-fi memberships are a thing I have, which I changed the starting tier to stitches instead of donuts. I figured that was more proper. I have a second tier in the works, and I'm thinking of having, like, doing these small cards like these. As, like, the thing for that. Which, I say small because this is probably, like, 4 by 6. Because this is, what? Those cold press... What's its face? Words? The cold press paper that I have from Canson, the Canson XL Mixed Media. Although this is not the mixed media, this is the water color one. Because I have 2 of those pads, so I cut it into 4s. And the paper is 9 by 12, so half is 9 by 6, so then half of that would be... Are you 4.5 by 6? Yeah, 4.5 by 6. If they're cut evenly. Alright, we're almost there. Just need to figure out what color I want for this snail. Alright. I want to continue because I already drew the... Yeah, I'd already drawn the color pencil bits in that color. So it's not the worst decision in the world. Which I'm going over this with the oil-based color pencil because the color will not bleed like the pencil would. Alright, so now that we've got that all set, let's see if I can grab up as much actual pencil as I can also. I really hate this tape. This tape is garbage. Oh, I missed that. Whoops. I can tell I did not get all the lines. Whoops. Oh, also, I got some shooting star fragments in Animal Crossing. Which that was like the first time since having, I think, Isabelle be there on the island that I actually got shooting stars. Shower. Alright, there it is. Alright, so let's see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put any watercolor in here. I might. Alright, so I do this in time so I at least get started in painting. Although I don't think I filled my thing that I have my paint brushes in. Whoops. Alright, so let's see. My acrylic paints are hanging out here. Let's see. Red, a bit of white. There's no yellow. I haven't used much of the yellow yet. Oh, I have green. Okay. Keep forgetting it's green. It's a 6-color set. So let's see. What is this? Black? Yeah, red, black. And then, oh no, stay in there. Yeah. Let's see. Come on. Why are we not? There it is. paint. Red.
I don't know what you want, but anything you want.
And then, let's see, gonna need that. Because I'm trying to get brown, so I need to mix this and then mix black. Alright, so let's mix this. Okay, a little bit more yellow. It's arguably already orange, but already. Get it to be a little bit more orange. And then mix in black here. And there we got ourselves a nice shade of brown. So I think, let me dilute that with a little bit of water. And start over here. Obviously not going to be done, but I want to at least get some color down here. Do, 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 do. Alright, yeah, it's brown. Also, this is coming up. Kind of put wet paint on here. The one thing I could say about this tape, at least the paint typically does not get through where the end of this is. Just mainly its gripping power to whatever I tape it to is relative garbage. Evening out the brush strokes that we have here. Okay, that looks a lot smoother than I was going with. Let me fill this with some water. I'm just gonna leave it on here. I'm gonna be back in a second. I just need to fill this with a wee bit of water. Alright, so that's out of frame, so I don't have to go reaching over that. Alright, so I put this back in here before I forget, and this essentially starts drying out, 'cause that would not be fun. Okay, that's gonna dry relatively quickly, so let's let that be for a bit. And then, where's my swatch for my gouache colors? Here it is. I knew I had that somewhere here. But yeah, swatches or go. I want to see if I actually have a brown that's good enough. Okay, burnt sienna looks like a nice mid-tone of brown here, so I can just grab that tube and go from there. Alright, so let's see. Burnt sienna is probably buried under all these trays. So there are a stupid amount of trays in here. Let's see. It might be the other side. Nope. I was correct on which side it is. Yeah. Burnt sienna. Ta-da! Alright. And then put that there so I'm not terribly overcrowding my makeshift table. And let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in that to water this down. Oh, that's still something I struggle with, like building layers with gouache. Where is it? Where's the... Oh, it's in here. So I can just... like the easiest way, I can put drops of water in there. Alright, and then let's go over here. Wow, I literally... Yep. It's annoying. Just the one thing I'm glad about. At least it doesn't seep, like, where I put it. But it's like, it doesn't hold this down for... nothing. Which makes me want to not use it. Careful. Make sure I maintain the line here. I've not decided what the mushrooms are going to be color-wise, but I know I can easily do pretty much whatever color I want in regards to the mushrooms, just because in nature they're ridiculous amount of colors mushrooms can be. Alright. But even though I watered down the color, you can't see any of the lines I put there for texture. It's hilarious. But I had that happen with the gouache anyway, where it's like, even if I dilute the color, it's a strong enough and a pigmented enough color that it's just like, yeah, you're not seeing nothing. Alright. Let's see. But yeah, this is some of the, what is that tape I got from Stationery Pal. But this is like the cheapest ones they had. But if I use that inside the sketchbook, it's fine, because once I close the sketchbook, essentially if I have it closed long enough, it's going to basically stay flat pretty much the entire time. Alright, so let that hang out and dry for a little bit. Oh, what color we want? Maybe put a little bit of the pearl white in there. Like, just a tiny glaze amount. Although, you can arguably put that over it, so, What do I want as colors? Wine variable. Duh. Huh. Really not sure what color I want. I love how saying I could do whatever color I want, and I'm just staring at like, not sure. Although. Let me look at snails. Let's see what kind of colors they have on their shells. I think they also fall into the whatever you want color category, which is very much not helpful, because I'm trying to find direction. Although, I do have rose. I could probably maybe get that to be rose. Come on. I think it's on this side. It's the one thing I'm not fond of with this thing. And I have to go, if I need a certain color, I have to go take out palette after palette. I don't think it's this side, it's the other side. Yep, it's the other side. Yeah, peach pink, ballerina pink, violet, lilac, which they say it's lilac, but lilac is like a straight purple, which lilac's supposed to be light, and look, mauve is lighter than lilac. Like, this arguably be more of a lilac, but it's like a dusty lilac in color. So never go by the name on the tubes. Always test your stuff. Alright. Next tray. There it is. Ta-da! And maybe a little bit of, if not, what, coral's a bit more orange, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like actually more of a dusty pink. So I can actually mix these two together. Which, my only problem with this stuff, it has a chalky finish, and that's still wet. Wee bit wet, but wet. Alright, so let's see. Majority this color. Come on. Please close. Then, yeah, you can't see what I'm doing. I have to move it over here. But you're not missing anything exciting. I'm just mixing colors here. And then which, if I really want to, I have some of the acrylic white hanging out here. If I need to, like, lighten up the color a little bit more. I don't think I should need to. Alright, and then, let's see. Where's my thing? There it is. Alright, and then let's move that away before that becomes me getting paint on my sleeve. Because I have black, so pretty much almost any color is going to be visible once I get my sleeve into it. Also, yeah, that should be a little bit further down the bottom side here. Or else that's not going to be accurate. Let's see. Let's see. I can make those possibly a little bit lighter. Add a bit of this white here. Also, I'm mildly worried this thing's just gonna fall down on me. Because I'm so not used to having this thing tilted at an angle like this. But I do like the look of having it that way, personally, so it's like, meh. Okay, this feels like a skin tone. Is that me, or does this feel like a skin tone? Where'd it go? Did I put it back? Ah, damn. Oh, right here. So I wanna... add a little bit more water, and... because especially with gouache, you can like dilute it enough that's pretty much almost watercolor in its appearance. But then there's of course the whole building up the layers after that. Because, you know, with gouache it can be reactivated. once you wet it, which is very much a pain. Alright, and then my tiny detail brush here for just such a reason. This is the tiniest brush I think I have. Alright, and then alright, and oops, went over that line just a little bit, but it's fine. Alright, what are we working with in time? Okay, just at the 3-hour mark. I'll give it like 5 more minutes. But yeah, this is pretty much dry, and that's pretty much dry. This especially, because that's straight acrylic, so that's gonna dry really quickly. Alright. There it is. Coming with a tiny bit of this for the stalks of those mushrooms. I'm gonna use my tiny detail brush for that. Yes, I very much like having an excuse to use the metallic paints. Although honestly, you don't really need the metallic paints. If you ever want to get one of these sets. I had just gotten it on sale. Alright, and then a bit of water. Arguably, I can use a little bit more water than that. Although there's only so much water you can put in there to dilute these before it goes to crap. So, kind of have to be mindful of that. Alright, so I really could have gotten a brush slightly larger than the tiniest brush, but it's fine. This is what I had in the thing itself. Alright. Did I put it? Yes, I did. I think so, anyway. What color was it? Cedar? No, that's iron. Where it be? Emerald. That's a green. Come on. Where is it? Navy. That's a really deep blue. It's not what I want, nor is it helpful. Oxford. Hello. Artichoke. That's a green. Charcoal. It is very annoying to know what you want, but being unable to find it. I swear, did I put it back? Let me double check I don't have it sitting around here. I don't think I put it in here. But I've done it before. Alright, and then, hold on. Let me just turn this light a little bit brighter. And I'm blind. What is this? Tawny? Don't mind me. I'm looking for a color and trying to not... What is this? Nope. Prussian blue. Gold. Why is there... Orchard. No, Oxford. Where the hell is it? That's certainly black. Yeah, it's charcoal. It's like pretty much an off black. Where is it? Swear to God, if it's not in here. I should have left the color out here, but I did not. I apparently love torturing myself. What is this? Nope, it's purple. I just want very, very dark brown, man. Is that? No, I don't believe it's this one. That's pecan. Which is not as dark as I would want it, but... There it is. Found it. Ugh. You would think I would not have trouble being able to find a pencil out of 48, but... Hold on. That was me. I was turning it down to turn it back on again, but I'm pressing... There we go. The wrong area. Cool. Just don't want it to be too bright. I think in the midst of everything I'd forgotten to redraw those lines underneath the mushroom caps. So... Alright. So I think, like, say a nighttime scene back here, or at least what little I can get of a nighttime scene behind there. So, like, say... some dark blues is where I'm thinking that'll go. Alright. And let's press this back down for like the 5th time. Alright. Let's see, do I want to do another layer of this and then... Yeah, I realize I'm going a wee bit over time, but it's fine. Just gonna layer a little bit more. This pink on the mushrooms. I know I'm not gonna be able to get the tiny spaces. I mean, arguably I could if I'm patient. But I honestly just prefer just getting a smaller brush. Alright. And I'm using a little bit same color to add a mild highlight to the front of this shell here. Yeah, I'm just re-wetting a little bit to get that blend out just a tiny bit. And then, yeah, this is gonna hang out to dry a little bit. So I think I'm gonna pause here. Probably go poke at this later, but yeah. It is, a little after 4, so definitely time for me to head off for the day. I'm looking at my mouse and trying to grab something else. Yeah, definitely time for me to go. Thank you. Definitely still needs a little bit of work, but I just wanted to at least block out a little bit of colors here and there. Let's see. Ta-da! Yeah, it's dark. Let's see. Do I want to go and host somebody, or am I just gonna wander off? Okay. Close that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wander off. There's definitely a bunch of people hanging out here on Twitch, so if you want to hang out with them, it is certainly a good idea to do so, whether it be art or makers and crafting or otherwise. Definitely had fun doing some sketchbook stuff in here today. So might do this again next week or so, maybe, who knows. But yeah, I should be back again this Saturday. Likely gonna do some spinning, or if I'm finished with the singles, I might get to applying that silk merino blend that is currently hanging out on a couple of bobbins. Which, speaking of, have you seen the, what's its face, the latest Wheels? Nope. Dreaming Robots has out? Because it looks like they have, like, possibly an automatic hook mover thing that they're getting into the works for, like, the newer models. But it looks like, plus the smaller ones, they seem to have A, a new color, B, the hooks are, they look like they're plastic now. Like the purple ones that I have on my electric eel wheel currently. So I was definitely intrigued by that. I've not given it a further look yet, but I will get to that maybe at some point. Alright, let me make sure I put these back here so I don't forget what I'm doing with them. And then, okay, swatch card, you go over there. I forgot. Oh, the white was still here. Whoops. Nope, no stream tomorrow. Gonna be back again on Saturday. It's really weird still that, you know, I'm only on 3 times a week instead of my 4, so yeah, it's still adjusting with that, but honestly, it really is for the better. I'll be honest with you. Also, tape keeps coming up on this and it's driving me nuts, even though I knew it was gonna happen. Still driving me nuts. But yeah, I don't think I missed anything in the way of alerts today, because today has been relatively quiet. Not that I mind, but yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the sketchbook stuff and enjoyed the painting. I said I was gonna head off, but I think I might see if I can host somebody. Come on, why won't you open? Yes, I'm aware. You are being slow. Stupid phone. Oh, Mr. Artbrains is on, so I guess we can go host him. So I'm gonna leave it on the end screen for just a little while, and then